At a time when trade, power, and wealth were controlled by men, a woman emerged who not only surpassed them but also changed the course of history. This is not just a story about a successful merchant. It is the story of a woman whom God chose for the greatest mission in history. Do you remember the prayer of Mary's mother? She sincerely said,
My Lord, I dedicate to you all that is in my belly.
And in response to this pure devotion, God granted her Mary, the mother of Jesus, the prophet with the largest following in the world. God always chooses the greatest women for his greatest plans. And when the time came for the final message of God to be delivered to the world, whom did he choose to support his prophet? Lady Khadijah, may Allah be pleased with her. Lady Khadijah was born into one of the wealthiest and most noble families of the Quraysh tribe. Her father, Khuwaylid ibn Asad, was one of the leaders of Mecca, and her family was known for their intelligence and dominance in trade. From a young age, she entered the world of commerce, and it quickly became clear that she was not just a rich girl, had a brilliant strategic mind. Her smart business strategies made her the most successful merchant in Mecca. She didn't just focus on buying and selling. She hired skilled traders and made calculated investments. In an era where most traders were men, she controlled international markets, and her caravans were recognized across Arabia. Instead of ruthless competition, she built trust and strong business relationships. And one of her greatest decisions, entrusting one of her key trade caravans to a young, honest, and trustworthy man named Muhammad, peace be upon him and his family. After the caravan returned from its journey, Lady Khadijah realized that Muhammad was not only a skilled trader, but also a man of unparalleled honesty, integrity, and morality. Unlike others who were deceived by appearances, she saw true value. At the age of 40, she married a 25-year-old young man. But this marriage was not just a romantic bond, it was a powerful alliance that would change the world. When Muhammad, peace be upon him, was chosen as a prophet, all of Quraysh turned against him. But she was the first to believe in him. And she didn't just support him emotionally, she gave everything she had for his mission. When the Quraysh boycotted the prophet, expelled Muslims from the city, and forced them into the harsh valley of Shib Abi Talib, created a devastating economic blockade that pushed the early Muslims to the brink of starvation. It was Khadijah's wealth and connections that saved them. Without her resources, Islam might have been wiped out in its early years, and she could have stayed silent and preserved her luxurious life. But she made a different choice, chose to do business with God. In the Quran, God says, "Who is it that will lend to Allah a goodly loan so that he may multiply it for him many times over?" Khadijah, may Allah be pleased with her, accepted this divine transaction. She gave up her wealth, but she gained something no merchant in the world ever had. A name that remains honored throughout history. A legacy that inspires women to achieve greatness. Eternal respect in this world and the next. But what about the afterlife? She is the woman for whom God himself has prepared a house in paradise. She holds the power of intercession, saving many souls from the fire. She earned a title that no other woman in history achieved. Mu'minin, the mother of all believers. Lady Khadijah was not just a successful businesswoman, she was a woman who reshaped history. But now, it's our turn. How can we take part in this spiritual transaction today? If one day you find yourself at a crossroads choosing between staying in your comfort zone or making sacrifices for the truth, what will you choose? Let me know in the comments. Would you have made the same sacrifice as Lady Khadijah?